Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today I'm going to show you guys some great backup knives. These are knives that are great secondary knives. They are basically secondary to your primary knife that you are carrying. Now, there's a bunch of different reasons why you would carry a secondary knife, so I gave a few different options for each category that we're going to go through. Now, you do have to figure out how you're going to carry it, whether you're going to carry it in your fifth pocket, on the belt, in the boot, in a backpack or a bag, or possibly even in the same pocket that your primary knife is in, or maybe one of your other pockets. Those are typically the places people carry, but you got to figure out which one of those is best for you. Now, with boot knives, I have a whole nother video coming just on boot knives alone, so we're going to stay away from that category. But reasons you would be carrying a secondary, the first one is cutting things you don't want to, meaning these are things that are going to destroy your edge. So it's better to put a different knife through it than maybe your primary, which you might really like or whatever. Even though it is a tool, it doesn't mean you want to just destroy your edge in one go. So I recommend getting a knife with a replaceable blade. Now, I have a few different options here. This one is a very, very affordable option from Razor VX. I'll have everything linked down in the description. And you have different blade shapes as well. Like you see, we have a Wharncliffe or a sheep's foot blade and a drop point. All you do is push this button, slip it out, and then slip this back in. Now, these are very simple steels, so it's nothing special as far as the steel quality goes, but you can destroy the edge, replace the blade, and you're back to good to go. The next one is a full-size knife from 9-Tie EDC, and what's cool about this is it allows you to have a full-size blade, and you can change blade shapes out. They're very thin with a Scandi grind, so these are incredibly, incredibly sharp. These are very, very slicey. Comes with 440 steel, which is a simple steel, but that's still a good steel that'll hold an edge, and technically you could strop and resharpen if you wanted to. The action is great. All you do is just turn this, and then it turns into a button, and you push it, and the blade will pop out, pop a new one in, and then just tighten it. Very, very simple. Now, there's also a small compact version. Now, it doesn't use different blade shapes. However, it is standard utility blades that you can easily swap out. You just loosen this guy right here, and it'll slip right out, and you can tighten it right back up, and it is on a crossbar lock, so this is a nice, strong locking system. But this one's a lot more small and compact compared to this guy, if you don't want to carry a full-size knife. Now, one of my favorite ones is the Olatons. This one has 9CR 18 MOV steel, which I really, really like, because this is a steel that, yeah, while it's being a simple steel, it's a good simple steel, and it's something you can resharpen. And this knife comes with 3 different blade shapes. Now, you can get other blade shapes, and you can replace these if you wear them out. You got a drop point, a serrated blade, and then a sheep's foot. So perfect blade shapes for basically anything you're going to do. And this has a titanium frame lock, and it's super affordable. So you're getting 3 blades and 9CR 18 MOV with a titanium frame lock, steel lock bar insert. Freaking amazing action, and it's very easy to take apart. All you gotta do, or take the blade out, all you gotta do is unscrew this, the blade will pop out, screw it back in, with whatever one you want. Now, another thing, Olatons has a new knife coming with replaceable 14C28M blades. I'm really excited about that one. I think that is the best idea for replaceable blades. So what's cool though is that you can still resharpen these because they are still a common good budget steel. I have this Ghost Tie utility blade with a handle machined from one single piece of titanium. It's ultra thin, lightweight, and features a magnet which gives you the ability to conveniently stick it to metal surfaces and prevents the blade from falling out. It also allows the blade to quickly retract back into the closed position. Even if it gets clogged up, it won't prevent the blade from opening and closing. You can swap the blade in 4 seconds, and the company already has 7 successful campaigns. This one only has a couple days left if you want to save some money. The company is Gear Infusion, and is today's video sponsor. Links are in the description. Another reason you might carry a backup is possibly to hand to non-knife people. Now, the replaceable bladed knives are perfect for that. But, sometimes you want to carry, just a regular knife, not necessarily a replaceable blade or a utility blade. So another option I like is the Kaiser Yorkie. It's small, compact. And what's cool about, you know, a small compact knife is that it's easy to carry secondary if you're going to carry in the pocket, you know, and you already have, say, a full-size knife, you know. So if you have a full-size knife, you have something that's a little more compact. You could hand this to somebody if needed. You can, you know, you can resharpen it. You know, it's got good steels. This one's in nitro V steel. This one's an M390, and this one is a titanium frame lock version in S35VN. So they have a ton of different flavor options if this is something up your alley. Now, another one that is small and compact like the Yorkie is the Mini Sheepdog. The Mini Sheepdog, again, comes in so many options. I didn't even pull a bunch out, but they have multiple different sizes, all the way up to a massive one, titanium, they have crossbar locks, so on and so on and so on, tons of them. So, but for the mini one, this one's a lot more compact. So it's basically like a little utility blade that you can resharpen. And like I said, since it comes in so many different flavors, you get to choose what type of handle material you want, and blade steel, because it comes in a ton of different blade steels. This one right here is a 154 CM. I believe this one's 4V. Yes, 4V steel on this one. So that shows you they even have 10V ones. Now, what's cool about this one is that you see how this one doesn't have a flipper tab, right? So it's only a hold point, which is the one I recommend the most because you can get a full grip. However, if you want a flipping action, but you might want to change it, this thing comes off. So you can take the flipper tab off to make it just a hole deployment knife. These are very smooth. The flipper tabs are very snappy. Hole deployment works great. These have great detents. They're built really well, and they're relatively affordable if you grab certain ones. The Kaiser Lieb is another one, just a little compact knife, and I was looking for in this little category something small, compact, something non-threatening, because that's another thing. You know, sometimes you want maybe your secondary to not scare people. You know, it could be the one you pull out in certain places. So that is another reason. So the Kaiser Lieb comes in a larger version with a button lock, and then this is the small one, but this thing has such a snappy action. Nobody will ever fail this. Similar to the Sheepdog. I mean, Kaiser even the Yorkie, Kaiser does such a good job with their flipper tabs and with their detents that it's like, you're not going to fail these. You're not, even grandma, like I can't fail this if I tried. But this one comes in M690 steel. This is G10, but it does come in other versions. Another great knife that I always recommend, because I think that this is just an amazing knife, period, the Civivi Elementum. Now, this is the regular one, so they do have a larger one. They even have fixed blade versions. They have a ton of different options with this knife, but this is a perfect size knife for most people. And, you know, as a backup knife, you're getting a full grip knife, something that you can still get a full, you know, some muscle on, but it's not big. And, you know, it's narrow. It's got a spear point blade, which everybody knows how to use. And they come with a nice hollow ground, nice deep hollow grind, very slicey, but comes in a lot of different versions, a lot of different flavors, and a lot of different steels. This is the Wii version, so this one's a premium one. So this one's not going to be as affordable. Maybe that's, you know, what you want. A lot of people might want something, you know, that's made of more premium materials because that's what they like to carry. But the Civivi Elementum is one you cannot go wrong with at all. Now, some people like to carry in the fifth pocket, which most of the knives we've shown, especially the Lieb, actually all of those we just showed except for the Elementum, are going to fit great in the fifth pocket. But another fifth pocket knife that I think is just amazing for the fifth pocket is the Baby Banter. You can get a full 4-finger grip still because of the choil, and that's the way it's designed. So you're still getting a lot of leverage with a little tiny cutting edge. But the compactness of this knife, if that's a word, fits perfectly in the fifth pocket. Comes in a lot of different options, a lot of different color options and materials. And also they have a larger version, and they just came out with a crossbar locking version with aluminum scales. This one is a bit bigger. Ooh. They even have an XL size one, the Big Banter, but you can see how small this is. Now, this one's still a compact knife just in itself, so this one could be a great backup knife as well. And, you know, comes with 20C, or sorry, this one's S35VN. The new one, I think, is 20CV or M390. I'm not 100%, but the Banter is an awesome line. Now, another reason is just because maybe if you burn up your edge on your primary. And I love these options for those reasons. You got the Spyderco Chaparral, one of the sliciest Spydercos there is. This is in CTS XHP steel, which I think Spyderco does such a good job with. Phenomenal job. Very, very slim, super lightweight, very easy to carry, and you technically could carry this in the 5th pocket as well. Another one that will go good in the 5th pocket and is a great model if you burn up your edge is the Dragonfly. This one's in K390, which this is the one I recommend. The handle is a very budget-friendly handle, which keeps the price down. It's extremely lightweight. Like, you don't even know you have a knife in your hand, but you still can get a compact full grip, but it's this blade shape that shines with this steel. K390 is an absolute beast mode steel. It gets incredibly sharp and it holds an edge for like forever. Like, it's such a good edge holding steel, and that's why I love it so much, because of the sharpness it gets and the ability to hold that sharpness. I've only honed this one and it's still damn near hair whittling sharp, but the little Dragonfly from Spyderco is an awesome version, and they do have other steels as well. Then you got the little Native if you want a different locking system. People aren't always into back locks, even though you can typically one hand open and close these, these versions, the ones with the back lock in the middle of the handle instead of the rear. But this has a compression lock, so it makes it a little bit more fidget friendly, you could say, and it still has a full 4-finger grip. This one is much more beefier though. So when you have it in your hand, that's the first thing you notice is this thing is chunky, but chunky in a good way, because sometimes very thin, slim knives, might not give you the best ergos, even if you have a full grip. But this actually gives you a really good grip. You can bear down on it, great utility blade, and it comes in different blade shapes. This one right here is made in the USA and is in S30V, which I personally love, Spyderco's S30V. Now, another knife kind of in this category, and I have to mention it because it's one of my all-time favorite backup knives, and that is the mini grip. The reason why is because I tend to like to carry very slicey primary knife, because most of the things I do are very slicey things, and I don't need a hard use blade. Yes, I want a nice strong locking system, but I don't necessarily need a hard use blade. This is compact. You can get a full 4-finger grip, but it's small enough to where it's very easy to carry as a secondary. In the blade, while still being able to cut just fine and have decent cutting performance, it's thick. It's a little thick boy, so it makes it to where if I need to pick at something, and it's USA made, I've had it for a very long time, it's still rock solid, but because I've had it for a while, if something ever happened to it, obviously I would care, but, like if I damaged the blade or something, it's not that big of a deal. This thing's already, I've gotten the money out of this thing 5 times over, but the blade shape is really good for EDC use, and, like I said, you can pick at things and be a little bit tougher on it. The lock, incredibly strong lock, very lightweight, S30V steel, phenomenal action, and they do have the larger version as well. Now, another reason, maybe you want a gentleman style knife, like you like to carry your knife that you might, mess up, or you don't care what it goes through, but then you got a backup for, just something nice and gentlemanly, something you can pull out of your pocket and be proud of. And that for that reason, I would recommend JACKWOLF knives. They are very premium knives, so you are going to be spending money when you get one of these, but they have insanely thin, slicey blades, amazing walk and talk, titanium scales. Most of them are in S90V or M390. This one is the Cyborg Jack. Now, they recently came out with a locking version. I'll show you that here in 1 second. Another one is the Midnight Jack, which we do have a couple more of these left on the NEEVEKNIFECO site that we have on sale. This is one of my all-time favorite JACKWOLF knives that are a slip joint. I love the coffin-shaped handle, the sheep's foot blade with a very thin, full hollow, by the way. From edge to spine, it is fully hollow. A lot of knives do not come like that. Then we got this guy. I love the Venom. This is a Wharncliffe blade with amazing. All the ones I'm going to pick are going to have a great pull, meaning you can easily get a grip of the blade and pull it out. I do not like to have to use my nail to get it out. I want to just grip it and rip it. But again, they all have full hollows, great ergonomics. This one's an M390, but they have a new version in S90V. And like I said, we'll show you some locking versions here in 1 second. This is from JE Made. Now, I do not have a link right now, but I believe there are some on DLT Trading that I do not have a link for. I've been trying, but they don't want to give it up. But this is an awesome company, awesome knife. They make premium knives similar to JACKWOLF knives, except for many of them come with a clip attached, which I love. I love that they have a clip. This one's a flat ground, modified, I would call it a modified Wharncliffe, but it is almost a drop point. It is in M390 steel, carbon fiber inlays, great walk and talk, great pull. But because you have a clip attached to this one, it makes it much easier to carry for a gentlemanly knife. And I don't think this exact version is available, but there is a bunch of different options because they make all different kinds. Quick sneak peek of something coming soon that I have not shown on the channel yet, so we're not going to spend too much time on it, but the Tactile's new slip joint knife. This is the Ranger, coming in magnet cut steel 63 to 64 HRC with a cross cut micarta inlay. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it, but yeah, this is coming very, very soon. If you like the gentlemanly knives, but you want to make sure they lock, but you want something, you know, that is more gentlemanly, that you can be proud of, that looks really cool, JACKWOLF Knives has locking versions of a lot of their models. Like if you look, this one is a locking version of this guy right here, the Midnight. And then I got this one right here is, I believe, the locking version of this guy right there. Now, these are awesome. These are amazing. We have I think one more version or a couple more versions of this guy right here, the Gunslinger, on the NEEVEKNIFECO site, but there's other ones available. I will link both down in the description. Blade HQ has a ton of options for JACKWOLF knives. This is the new Bionic Jack. This one is titanium frame lock with a watermelon fat carbon fiber inlay. They have a ton of other inlay options. Like I said, there's tons of flavors with these. Super deep hollow grind in S90V, amazing action. The clip works great, and you can take these clips off, and there's an insert that you can put there so that it doesn't look ugly. But this guy right here, man, they're just so thin and so slicey. It's incredible. Love the ergonomics, love the size of these. The fidget factor is super, super good. They're all very easy to flick and manipulate. And, you know, if you're somebody that doesn't do a reverse flick or, you know, a thumb roll or whatever, or front flip, you can always just two-hand open it just fine. This one is the biggest one yet, I believe. It is a bit beefier. Even the grind is a little bit beefier. And this is the one that's not a full hollow. Pretty much all of them, I believe, are full hollows except for this guy. But all in all, my favorite ones are probably these three right here. I freaking love these three. And yeah, and even the like I said, the Cyborg is basically the small guy to, I don't know if this is true, but I think it is. It's basically the small guy to the Bionic. Now, another reason, and probably the final reason, because I know there's going to be specific needs, like some people are going to maybe want to carry a fixed blade. Usually that's your primary, not your backup or your secondary, but I understand those do exist, and I have a ton of those I could recommend. We're sticking to folders right now, but this next category has a mixture. It is self-defense knives, because that is a reason why people want to carry a secondary or a backup knife. Maybe your primary knife isn't purpose driven, or possibly it's in your pocket and people can see it and they have their attention on it. So there's many reasons why you might want to carry a self-defense knife. And another thing is self-defense is not just human threats. You know, it's anything that comes into play where it's risking you or somebody else's life, whether it is seatbelts, ropes, strings, people, animals, you name it. Whatever reason that you might possibly need to pull out a blade and use it to save a life, if not your own. Some options. We have the SHIVWORX punch dagger here. These are awesome because they are very intuitive. Everybody kind of knows how to punch. Maybe not everybody knows how to throw a punch, but you can at least punch forward. And this is just designed for that. You can slash back and forth as well. I love this sheath right here because this works, the Omni sheath. This thing works any direction. So if you do put it in the wrong way or you know, whatever, it goes either way. It's a very, very solid way to carry your knife because it has a great sheath, which is very important for a self-defense knife. Now, for a self-defense knife, I typically recommend a fixed blade. Of course, you know, there are some folding options that will work just fine. So I don't want to take them out of the picture, but because, you know, this is more of like what is going to be the best. Now, another thing is the clinch pick. Now, the clinch pick comes in a double-edged version or a single-edged version. And this is designed to go right by your belt buckle. Same thing with the push dagger, but you can kind of carry it on your hip. You can carry it in a few different places. This you can too, but it's specifically designed to be right by your belt buckle because then it's very difficult to prevent you from getting to it. And people aren't, maybe they are, but a lot of people aren't going to be expecting you to be able to grab it so easily. And even if they're trying to prevent you from grabbing it, it's very difficult to stop you from grabbing your belt buckle. If you can grab your belt buckle, then you can get to these knives. The Clinch Pick 2.0 is awesome. I do have some full videos on most of these. Then I designed the FLN with Kell. There is a ringed version as well. And then if you buy the non-ringed version like this, you will get sent to you a G10 ring with the knife. So either way, you got the ring if you want it, but I wanted to be able to make a version that took the ring off to make it a little bit more concealable, a little bit more compact. And this is made, I designed it for the forward grip. You can obviously use it, whatever's comfortable for you, especially if you have the karambit ring. But the point of it was to go right next to the belt so that one, nobody can stop you from getting to it. At least it's very, very difficult. And once you get it out, it's nasty. Like you can get double-edged as well, which double-edged, you know, it prevents anybody from even getting it out of your hand, which even like this with a single edge is the same way. But anybody can, you know, basically slash, you know, where you're just doing this motion, right? Anybody can do that, like just clawing forward. If you can claw, you can use this. And that's the way I want it. I didn't want people to have to have, you know, 100 hours of training to use it. Now, technically, you should be training no matter what, but anybody can use something like this very effectively. And the point is if somebody grabs you or you're on the ground or they're trying to pull you out of a car or anything like that, you can rapidly get this. And then it's made, this blade shape is made to pull materials into it. So when you slash, it's going to do the maximum damage. Like I always say, one slash to an arm with this is life-threatening. So that will end a fight very, very quickly. And these are still available, and we do have another version coming at some point. It does have a lot of changes, though. And then the Kell knife designed by Knife Junkie, my buddy, Bob DeMarco. So Bob DeMarco designed the double O agent, and it is a double-edged. You can see it's kind of got a little clip point right here. A double-edged knife, and this is an 80 CRV2, just like the FLN. I believe Kell is going to be using some other steels here soon, but this is an amazing knife. It is a really good self-defense knife. Not only can you plunge forward with it, but it works great in the gas station knife fighting grip, like really, really good. You can cap it off. Has a little attitude adjuster right there that you can use. You're not going to slip up the blade, and you technically could use this for EDC purposes. The FLN is more specifically just for self-defense, which you can absolutely use it for, you know, just little cutting purposes if you want. But with your self-defense knife, I recommend, if you don't know how to sharpen, you're not good at keeping your edge sharp, you probably shouldn't be using it too much, because with the time when you do need it, you want to make sure that sucker is as sharp as possible, so it can, you know, do the work that you're trying to do really quick. This is a little large for a backup or a secondary, so this might be a primary for you. But like I said, some people like to carry in backpacks or you know, in different ways. So, you know, you could do this as a boot. You could do it in multiple different ways. So it just depends on how you're wanting to carry it. But yes, it is a little large for a backup. It might just be your primary. And one of the best backup tools is going to be a multi-tool. Multi-tools are going to give you the ability to use a lot of different tools at your disposal. I do not have it, but I did see it on Marine X. There is a new Leatherman version that's using MagnaCut, and it's you know, these are USA made. I believe that one's USA made, but it looks really, really good. And they make very high quality you know, multi-tools, so they're spring operated. This is more of a budget friendly version. There's no spring in this. It's still decent quality, and I like this one because it comes with a little diamond file that I can use as a backup sharpener, you know, to tune an edge up in the field. And it has multiple different blades, and these are locking blades. And then it has obviously a bunch of other tools as well. But a multi-tool is something that, you know, if you're, especially if you carry a backpack, you should have a multi-tool of some sort with you. But this makes it to where if you're doing stupid stuff, it kind of puts everything all into one except for the self-defense part. But if you're doing something stupid, you can use it. If you're handing it to somebody, you know, you're not going to worry about it. You know, just if your knife's dull, you know, and you just need a sharp blade, it's something, you know, hopefully it'll be sharp, but most people wreck their edges. But anyways, there you guys go. Those are, in my opinion, some really good options for secondary knives or backup knives. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.